What if the reason you feel stuck has nothing to do with strategy and everything to do with alignment? Today's guest believes that real success starts from within, and that's when your mind, emotions, and purpose align, everything begins to change. Joanna Zhang is an award winning entrepreneur and the founder of the Operations Genius, an innovative business that helps entrepreneurs scale smarter through flexible support systems and strategic growth solutions. But Joanna's journey goes far beyond business. After years of pushing through stress, pressure, and self doubt, she experienced a personal awakening that completely changed how she approached leadership, success, and life itself. Today, she helps business owners not only grow their companies, but reconnect with themselves in the process. Please join me in welcoming Joanna Zhang. Let's get into it. Hello, Joanna, and thank you for joining the Influence Exchange today. How are you?
Oh, I'm wonderful. I'm so happy to be here. I believe it will be a wonderful conversation we're going to have.
Absolutely. I'm honored to have you aboard today, and I'm excited for this conversation as well. So, Joanna, before we dive deeply into who you are, I want to just give you kudos and congratulate you. In 2024, you were honored, your business was honored with the Stevie International Business Award for innovation. And in 2025, just last year, your business was honored as Company of the Year.
Thank you.
That is an amazing journey in Australia, and I'm excited to talk about that. So, before we dive in, let's start from the beginning. How did you become the person you are today?
Wow, that's such deep and interesting question.
Sure.
I think if I look back, everyone's journey, I believe, is different. For me, that was one of them. Probably many of us are sharing similar experience too. That we may have encountered some challenge, or some unknown, some confusion, some even mistakes we call it, or some past that doesn't really align with our true self.
Mhm.
So I think that was a journey that I felt like I went through hell even, but I gradually came back to remember who I am. So I know it's very general, it's a very big topic, but I believe when we actually dive into the conversation, there'll be a lot of examples coming up. But as a general, as a summary, so far I've become the person I am today. Is I went through a lot of challenges, probably looks like impossible in other people's eyes, but I was dedicated, put through. Probably that's where I
Sure.
learn, I grow. Yes, so
Yeah.
there you go.
There you go. So fast forward to today. You created one of your businesses called the Operations Genius.
Yes,
Talk to us about that.
that's exactly what it meant. So, like for example, how I become the person, how do I become the
Yeah.
founder of the Operations Genius that replicates my journey as a whole. For example, at the time when before I started a business, I wasn't in the industry, in the outsourcing industry at all. I was the one who was using VA service to help my own business as a financial planner at the time. I need a lot of different
Sure.
support, marketing, IT, finance, you name it. But I couldn't really have enough budget to hire a group of people that, to really support me. So, and I couldn't find anything in the market that can really structure in a way that suitable for my budget. Apparently, there's a challenge, right? So
Sure.
instead of just to fit into really find other whatever in the market to help me, I figure out a way to customize a team together, and everyone specializes in their specialty. We call it genius, and then I can leverage that support within my budget from time to time. So, and then I thought, why don't I share these resources with others? Many business owners in the growing phase, especially in the teething phase, we're facing similar challenges. We have a limited budget, but we do need the support to scale up. So that's how the Operations Genius born. So basically, I started this business by solving my own problem, and then I sharing with others. I hope that makes sense. So that's exactly like what I said. how I become the person I am today is many times like that. I face something, figure a solution, and become the version of that time. Yeah.
Sure,
Mm,
sure. So let's say there may be a few audience members listening or watching today's episode, and they're entrepreneur and they're stuck and they don't know how to move forward.
mm.
So talk to us about how can an entrepreneur move forward.
Well, I think probably there's a few different layers. If we talk body, mind, and soul, um, probably every layer we have some blockage because that was me, that was I went through, right? So for example, from physical realm, it could be somewhere like what we provided the support here, like some business owner feel like I wanted to do something but I don't have that resource, right? So I probably just wait for it, or I do it by myself to try my best, but at the end of the day it still doesn't reach the stage that they feel like, they maximized the resources around them. So that's physical realm. They may feel like there's some blockage there. They couldn't really get things manifest, let's put this way. And emotionally, because of
Sure.
that, they feel frustrated and tired or maybe confused why I'm actually not moving forward, because those are the feelings I had before. And spiritually, that's the layer I neglect before the most, because I used to work very hard on my business and push forward. I used a lot of masculine energy at the time, and I just always felt I achieved a lot of things, and I even like the award, the very first award, one I won it. I even still have this imposter syndrome. So is that me? Is that right? And it's just too
Sure.
easy. Maybe it's just luck. That's how I felt, right? So from
Sure.
spiritual realm, I didn't really celebrate myself, didn't feel fulfilled. I felt there was a blockage there that I couldn't really break through my business. That was the feeling. And then 4 years ago, I had a spiritual soul awakening. And at the time, I actually started to know my soul mission, soul power, soul purpose. I also started my soul ascension journey and learned different life lessons with my spiritual mentor. And I asked her that question about why I had this feeling, from spirit, like my business didn't go through. I actually went through physical layer, emotional layer, all the frustrations. And I actually, to be honest with you, I went to so many coaching courses as well, learned different strategies, but still didn't really get to where I am. And she said to me, there is a blockage on your spiritual realm on that, right? So it's not about the strategy you've learned. You've already learned a lot, but you still couldn't get through. So gradually, I was still couldn't understand, but gradually at the divine timing, she asked me a question. She said, Joanna, why did you start your business? At a very superficial level, logical level, it's a good business model because
Right.
it's an innovation, it's smart, like it solved the
Mhm.
problem. And she said, think again. I said, I can certainly help people because they help me because I believe so. And she wasn't satisfied. She said, think again. Why did you start your business? And at the time, I already ran out the answer from my physical layer, from emotional layer, and something from spiritual. Just one word split out of my mouth. The thing is that word is so simple. However, when I said it, it put me into tears, which surprised me a lot.
Mhm.
Then I realized, I said, it's because of unconditional love. And then all the emotion coming up, the tears just drop. And she said, that's right. Your soul knows the answer. Then I suddenly
Sure.
realized previously when I did my business, a lot of time I'm always on the transaction mode. I was coming from fear and desire. When I actually looking at the people, I looking at them as a deal. Like I had intention going there, wanted to close the deal. People can feel it, like and then no matter how hard I
Mhm.
try. And I didn't feel comfortable either because that's not me. That's not aligned with what I'm here for. So since then, I started to readjust my intention. Everything has just become magically unfolded. Now
Sure.
I don't really work as hard as before. It doesn't mean I don't work or something. It just because my energy has aligned with who I am now. I'm here talking to every soul, caring about them as a soul, no longer as a business. When I let go of the expectation, magic just happened. So why sharing this experience is that a lot of time, probably when we think we feel like we're stuck somewhere, we wanted to grow, I think there's three layers we're gonna look at: physical, emotional, spiritual. And the best priority is to look from spiritual first and then tap into the
Sure.
emotion and then embody it to manifest. Because I used to do physical, emotional, spiritual. However, this experience taught me if we solve the root from the spiritual realm, it can really manifest really quickly and help us to break through those blockage and move forward more effectively and aligned with our soul. Yeah, so that was my
Sure.
story. Mm.
I love that. And how can you practice it? How can you practice the three sets spiritually, emotionally? Like when it comes to your body and finding who you are, you could be working on a regular job, you could be a CEO or entrepreneur, whoever it is. How can they find themselves to be a better person?
Very good question. I think uh, I'm not sure about others, but I was one of those kind that I used to put a lot of attention on others, which means I look after everybody around me. I felt like I'm responsible for other people, but the only person who neglect or I didn't really put attention was myself. So I'm not sure whether many of us are sharing similar symptom as a parents, as a leader, as a good friend, or even as a child. We wanted to put other people's needs in the front, but self-sacrifice ourselves, our own needs, our own emotions. So gradually we started to numb and escape our own true feeling. We started to use external reaction or other people's eyes or expectation to measure our true value. So that was my journey too. So by doing that, I started to numb and escape all those things. I couldn't really, there was actually, if we believe there is a higher wisdom, whomever we call it, God, Buddha, source, universe, they're always there to guide us. However, when we are so busy and in the mental prison and neglect our own feeling, we can't get those signs. So that's how sometimes I got lost for my previous journey,
Sure.
right? So I just looking at those external validation, fear, and desire, got attracted, feel like, oh, that's the thing I want, but it actually is not. So I would say if we wanted to really tap into ourselves, started to really put ourselves as a priority. And that's the very first start. And started to realize too, if physically we're tired, allow us to rest. Because body is a really good
Yes.
friend as a physical realm in this world. They are our container. They help us to experience in this world as spiritual being. Recite the feeling. If you feel stomach ache or headache or whatever, there's a sign. There's a sign too to tell us something we
Right.
need to be aware of. And emotionally, if you feel sad, if you feel not comfortable, and just give us a space to really reflect and then to feel it and then to allow us to do that. I used to be like I call it positive depression, which means I show very positive externally because I wanted to give the good vibe to others. But at the end of the day, I was sad. I was
Sure.
lonely. I was sealing my heart with my own tears like that because I didn't really healing myself. Instead, I actually tried to give others what I feel like I have. But at the end of the day, I was drained because I didn't fill up my
Sure.
own cup, like our spiritual mentor mentioned, that if we don't have something for ourselves, we can't give it out. It's simply as it is. I didn't have all those empathy,
Sure.
support, patience, love, and care, acceptance for myself. How can I give it to
Mhm.
the others? Simply as it is. So
Right.
since I started this spiritual journey, started to put myself as a top priority, and everything started to come back gradually. It's not like suddenly, I'm awake. Awakening is a journey, to be honest. I'm still on this journey, layer by layer,
Right.
where you still need to let go of different attachment layer by layer and get lighter and lighter. So yeah, again, there's three layers we can tap into. And I believe we all have inspiration. Like since I was young, I always felt there's mystery energy around me. And when I'm on the stage, when I'm talking, even like now, I'm very flow. I didn't know at the time that's all the guidance from them. Like we receive inspirational guidance differently. Some people might be very strong on vision. I'm not sure whether you have come across some people. They can see some pictures in their mind. Some people can hear something.
Absolutely.
Some people can feel the sense, maybe the temperature, the touch. Some people is a taste. some people is smell. Everyone has a different strength on that. So for me, like, oh, someone is knowing. For me, is like knowing and smell at the moment is a stronger point. So we can practice all those five senses to receive all those signals step by step. But the very first step is to really give ourselves more care, more love, center back, so we can be more sensible to receive all those signs and guidance. Mm.
Yeah. So what you're saying is physically understand who you are. If you're giving yourself too much and you feel overwhelmed, take a step back. Give yourself space. Give yourself time, and then let's rebound to move forward and work on yourself deep inside to know who you are spiritually so you can make a better effort, I will say, out in the real world.
Yes.
Know who you are first. Yes,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah. Beautiful.
So, what makes your fractional VA service so unique?
The name itself already speaks all because I
Yes,
didn't know you called it
I love it.
VA service, but that was like when we had an award at 2024. They recognized us as the world first fractional VA service. Then I realized, oh, it's called a fractional VA service because for many years I running this model that is not full-time part-time model. We actually customize the team. Like for example, just a
Mm,
simple example. If a business owner come in to me and say, I only have a 10 hours a week. I wanted my website done. I wanted my bookkeeping done. I wanted my CRM done, for example, right? So there's totally three different areas of design. So normally we need to find a 2 to 3 people who is really specialized in those areas, either full time or part time, given the whatever model in the market, right? But by saying that, if the business doesn't have the budget for it as yet, they normally will what happen is the business owner gonna do it, or the key team member is gonna do it, bearing with a lower quality, let's say, maybe not really highest quality, and then or they hold back and say, okay, not now, maybe later. So now with our solution, this fractional solution model is that it's possible now. It's like you have 10 hours, right? So we can pick someone in the IT field, someone in the accounts field, someone in the CRM, the lead generation field, and then together within the 10 hours based on your priority, we get things done. So it is possible now.
yes.
It is becoming possible. So the uniqueness for us, I think, is possibility and accountability, because we're not just task doer. In the part of the team as well as accountability partner to remind business owner to focus on the genius and delegate out the others. And another thing is flexibility, because we're so
Mm,
flexible. Like there's no lock in 20 hours, 40 hours. You can, based on the business needs from time to time, adjust the support like that.
sure, sure. So, let me give you a scenario.
Yeah.
So, I am an entrepreneur. My business is making, let's say, $10 million a year annually
Mm.
before profit. And I'm saying, Joanna, I want to scale my business in the next 3 years to 50 million, then in the next 5 years to 75 million, then in the next 10 years to 100 million. How can myself as an entrepreneur get get those goals accomplished?
All right, good question. So often when we have those
Yes.
goals, I think it's important for us to realize in order to reach any goals, there are a few different aspects, and the two aspects are very important. One is a strategy, one is action. So both need to go hand in hand. Like for example, our team is totally on the execution part. It's we are action partners. We can get things done no matter where, whichever direction you wanted to go, right? But very importantly, the business owner as ourselves, as our responsibility, we need to have the blueprint. We need to have the map. We need to have the directions, right? And often that's why a lot of coaches and mentors are kick into the play to figure out the strategy part of the growth strategy. And then our execution partner can kick in to follow the strategy to take things down. By saying that, because of I realized how important the strategy is. So recently we've launched a fractional C-suite advisory board because I realized that the importance of strategy. Because we used to really just go to the client and say, okay, we need a strategy from that marketing or IT or your SEO, whatever it is,
No,
leads generation, and then we action on it. No problem for that. But I realized a lot of business or can feel stuck is one day lacking of the strategy. So that's an idea that was a creation idea of one is suddenly coming to me at divine timing because I was running
sure.
fractional model for so long and I realized the importance for the strategy. Then I thought, why don't I put something together? I know many C-suite advisors, fractional C-suite advisors are very good trend and now as well. There's fractional CMO, CEO, CFO, CTO, and I know many of them.
Yeah,
I said, why don't I get them together? Now let's help clients together. Because for me now, whatever I'm generating, I feel like if it's a win-win-win solution, which is first of all, I'm happy, I'm very passionate, I'm very excited, right?
right,
And it's good for
right.
others, good for the client, good for the advisors, and ultimately it's good for this world. Then I will do it. And no matter how hard it is, same as this fractional VA, I feel like if there's nothing there, I'll create one. So that's how I started.
Sure.
Yeah. So we recently launched this. It's aiming for actually helping business owner in a way that they can have a collective intelligence for a few different advisors sitting together like a round table and also have a deep dive
Mhm.
into different fields. So instead of hiring full-time, part-time, full like a C-suite executive team, they now start to have resources to access this kind of strategy layer for the business growth. So that's what I can do from our business. But I believe that, as mentioned, no matter which service or resources everybody use, I think both parties need to come together, hand in hand, beautifully.
Sure. Hand in hand.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like
It needs to be
that.
aligned and beautifully, then make things happen. Because I realize sometimes if someone only have a strategy but lack of action, or you only take action, lack of strategy, things doesn't really unfold, right? If we go
Sure.
hand in hand, also align with our true self, again, very important. Ourself as the biggest what is it bottleneck. A lot of time when we break through the business, we are the first layer of the bottleneck. If we keep
Mhm.
growing as ourselves and align with our soul and break through those layers energetically and also strategically and physically, then we can lead others to take the trend, the growth together. So there's a few things together. So strategy, action, align with ourselves, boom, we can go towards our goal.
Yes. Yes. And Joanna, how important it is to hire the correct staff? Because at times you may hire a person that their mindset is not aligned with your vision, even though during the interview process you might have thought this is the ideal person to run the sales department or whatever it is. So how important is it?
Wow, so important. I can't emphasize enough because it's more like whomever we work with in our life doesn't matter just in the work, right? Imagine in
Mhm.
our living space, like a daily life. If some
Sure.
peoples are not aligned with our directional value, you can find, especially if, for example, friends or schoolmates, some people may gradually filter out of our layer, like
Right.
the scope, right? Similar as a working force. If let's say we actually together working towards some goals, and they actually takes more actions and like a team effect to go together, and this team member better just be really aligned. Otherwise is dragging the direction or distraction into different directions is affecting the efficiency and effectiveness towards our final goals. I personally experienced that many times, like probably at the first, during the interview, I felt it is a good person, but at the later stage, due to multiple different reasons, it can come to either this person is not really truly like what they appear on the interview, or they have some other life plans, or we grow too fast, they can't catch up. Everything is possible that during that process, people naturally filter out. And that's a natural process. But I think as a business owner, we got to accept it and make it happen as well. Because I used to attach to the team members a lot. I wanted to give them enough space and enough opportunities, but at the end of the day, my boundary got stepped. That was the time while I was a serving leader stage that I give them a
Sure.
lot of chance, but I didn't, look up my own boundary. Now I'm balancing my empathy and the boundary as a spiritual leader. So I started to see who are the really very important aligned people to be part of the team, so we can all learn and grow together with a win-win solution. Mm,
Yeah,
very important.
that's great. That's great advice. Yes, it's very positive.
Mm,
Businesses, entrepreneurs, they go to setbacks and challenges, right? And sometimes a challenge or a setback could be that one spark that could turn the business around.
yeah.
Have you ever been stuck or challenged with a setback? And if you have, please share some
So
examples.
many, so many. Everything comes up in the business. I found out whenever there's something happen, exactly like what you're saying, I look at it as opportunity. Give you a very simple example that happens in my business many, many times. For example, this team member doing great job, right? But somehow it's not 100% aligned, whatever it is, right? And or for whatever reason, this person has to leave the team. Sometimes maybe the business will feel, oh, I got lost. I've worked so well with this person.
Sure.
I had experience of many times. So this person had to leave the team at the time, which means I need to find a replacement or another person to do that. And what I found is, whenever this thing happened, the next person step in. It doesn't necessarily mean this person is better than this or whatever, because this role is open now. There was a stick onto this role and continue with certain routine. Now, because this space
Sure.
is open, which means unlimited possibilities open. When next person coming in, I can have a chance to restructure certain things. Everyone started to have opportunity to explore further potential. Does it make sense? And by doing that, magic just happened. Surprise happened. It's like, oh my gosh, I didn't really think
Yeah,
about that. This person really good at this. Before this, they didn't have experience or maybe the opportunity to do that because another person is sitting on this role. So, and
sure.
many experience. I look at it. I feel like, oh my gosh, that's really opened a lot of unlimited possibility. Another example, I started this business by working with different agents, right? So initially,
Mhm.
my talents are from different agents. By doing that, actually, I was felt like, oh, it's so hard to manage a team myself and hire them this and that. But the partner we worked for the quite a few years, they actually decided to change the direction. They don't want to provide that kind of the casual model anymore. So which means that I lost a partner and a supplier, to be honest with you. And at the very beginning, I thought I still wanted to work with agencies because I felt like, because I haven't managed it like a hiring and a managed team of payment, everything before by myself. I
Sure.
felt very tedious. And then my old self told me that continue with that path, but the hiccups keep coming up. And apparently, there's a sign for me
Mhm.
to really practice. What if I started to, other than working with other partners, right? I can started to run by my own, and I practiced that. I started to really hire and manage the payment, everything, but and it's not as hard as I thought. And I started to
Sure.
gain better skills on different areas, right? And we have more opportunities, more hiring space for facing the market, talent market. So again, once again, when I break through the layer of the restrictions or limitations, I felt change now actually bring a lot more opportunities. Actually, it is a time for us to change and for us to explore a limit of possibility. Otherwise, I'll be sitting in the comfort zone feeling like, right,
Right.
like that.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
closed opportunity.
Right.
Yeah,
Sure. Sure. So, Joanna, what motivates you today?
great question. This model is so hard. To be honest, we give a lot of flexibility to the business owner. For us, for the sustainability and the cash flow, everything, we handle a lot of stress. To be honest, because when we give it to others,
Yes.
we are experiencing up and down all the time,
Mhm.
all the time.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
you know, but I somehow kept it through. I didn't know why at the time, but since until 4 years ago, I had my soul mission, like a soul awakening event, and through then I found out my source, who is my source, I can connect with, follow the guidance, find out my soul mission, soul power, and guess what? My soul power, it is teamwork and leadership. And my sole mission and sole
Ah,
purpose it is to helping team and the members to grow. And I realize I
sure.
always with a group of people from different time, and I'm always dedicated to work together to help everyone to grow. And I'm growing as well. I'm so happy. So by doing that, because I'm happy, because it's my sole mission, that become my inner motivation. No matter how hard it is, I'll make things happen. Same as fractional C-suite
Hmm.
advisory board. It's a little team too. Again, that's a teamwork, right? So there you go. I find out whatever
Yeah.
I do now is it is around my soul mission, soul power, and soul purpose. I'm just so happy, and it become a natural inner drive and give me
Sure.
unlimited possibilities, endless energy to be myself. Actually, it just every
Be
single
yourself.
moment become myself, be the answer, right? Be what I'm here for. That's it. I'm just being myself and doing the things. I'm just so happy. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to be as authentic as possible and being yourself. Be the true you.
Yes.
It's it's critical. Yeah.
Mm.
So you have a guide,
Yes.
right? And your guide is how to get unstuck, get your time back, and do what you love.
Yes.
Okay. It's I love that line. Can we talk a little bit about your guide? Number one. Number two, what is your guide going to teach someone that's reading your guide for the first time?
I think first of all, if you feel those words, you tapping into it. It is exactly what we meant about tapping into our emotions. If you feel
Hmm.
those are the feelings you have, because that's totally what I felt before, I would highly recommend you to download that guide. I won't tell you the
Sure.
details now because
Sure.
otherwise you will feel, ah, I know about it. Because a lot of time, if you feel something, you trigger you to tap into it. A lot of time, probably not from the surface information, because certain information can become a signal, a message to give you
Right.
idea. Probably my guy won't teach you something like you felt you're gonna learn, but I always find out I can learn something at the divine timing. I can actually learn something out of something. Let's put it this way. So I wouldn't want it to really scope what you're gonna learn, this and this. But that guide is created based on my own personal experience while I feel stuck before, and based on my many of the uh,
Hmm.
clients I helped with, or even some people in the field, they have a question with, those are the areas they often feel stuck. And I can give you some hints. This is a guide for you to start to delegate out. It's a starting point. Because a lot of time when we're holding back is that I don't know where I start, right? But if you actually know where to start, at least you can kickstart
Hmm.
and you can step the first step, then you can continue develop. Without the first step,
Sure.
nothing else can ever happen. So this guide is for that. Is
Great. Great.
initiation.
So no, yes, no spoilers. I will make sure my audience will tune in. I will put links on the description of where to find that
Yes,
guide.
please. Thank you.
So we spoke about a lot today with energy, effort, being stuck. So what does energy over effort look like in a real workday?
I used to very rigid follow my calendar, very beautiful,
Mhm.
like
Yeah, of
this
course.
and
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And then I find sometimes if I'm in my higher vibration state, I can do things like that. But according to the calendar, that's not the time I'm gonna do that. So if my old me will rigidly follow that, I worked so hard, I was so busy, but not that effective. I was just busyness.
Yeah.
A lot of things happen. Then I
Yeah.
thought I was doing something
Yeah.
I'm valued. Because at the time I used action to determine my value. But now, because I
Sure.
truly believe as a soul, when we were created at the source, by existence, we already have value. I don't always have to use action to prove who I am anymore. So I started to allow myself to rest, to have a space to reflect, to refresh, right? Like we were talking earlier. And then I realized, what if I follow my flow of the day? Suddenly this time I feel like, oh, I'm so inspirational. A few ideas in my mind. I couldn't really hold it. Like it's like creation is like that. It's like bursting out at divine timing. One thing, same
Yeah.
as my fractional board. On the same day, I create everything because there was the idea. Someone plant the seeds. I met someone and I felt like that's possible. Then boom, 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 a few people in my mind. I felt like a strong urge. Well, I wanted to create something. By thinking of it, I was so happy, passionate. Boom, that's how it happened. That's how quick it is as
Sure.
creation, right? and and I, if in our daily life, if a lot of time we can follow this flow, especially if we need to create something as a business owner. A lot of time we are the creators. We determine the direction, we have a vision, we wanted to make it happen. So I think that was really helpful for me because that was super efficient,
Sure.
right? But at the same token, if I feel like uh this time there's something I need to do, but I'm not in the state. Some tedious work, like some paperwork, something I have to do, right? I will have a feel before the deadline. I will have a feel my feeling when I feel like to do it. I don't really follow my. This is my
Sure.
admin hour. This is my email hour. This is hour. I started to go with my personal flow because what I find when I follow my own flow, everyone has a different style. I can get things so fast easily, and I get more and more
Yes.
space and rest time for myself, which means I have more space and nurturing space for myself to create more. Does it make sense? So it's
Exactly. Be more
yeah,
productive. Yeah.
productive. It's like a chicken and egg and chicken. Which way you gonna?
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Right.
yeah. So since I follow my body energy, I find that I don't really need much time and management anymore. Time management is a basic foundation. It's more like um how to maximize our time and to make sure the deadlines are met, those sort of things. But that's the foundation, right? But to uplift, to have a more effective ways to manage our days, I highly, to really recommend everyone to really tap into our feeling. Yeah, try
Sure.
that. If today I don't have any target, but if those are the things on my to-do list or master list, whatever, have a feel. If
Right.
you when you in the zone, do that instead of you steady give it your given arrow. Which one actually do better? Maybe sometimes go time is better, then go with it. But maybe
Right.
sometimes go with your feeling is better. So yeah, follow your style.
Sure.
Follow your style.
I love
Mm,
that. You've gave so much great advice today. I really deeply appreciate it. So I usually like to ask one last question to my guest.
mhm.
What final thoughts or message would you like to share with the world?
I received a message from it because a lot of time now because I it's not me I was thinking. I just received that message talking about the influence. Because that's your podcast,
Yes.
influence exchange, right?
Yes.
I believe you
Yes.
started this podcast because some reason. There's something tap into your field you feel that's important. And I think there's something what we're here for as a soul that we wanted to do something here. Let's call it influence, for example, in your field. And I believe whomever listen to
Yeah.
this must be this keyword must mean something for us. If we truly want to leave some influence or legacy to this world, we got to find who we are first. Otherwise, we will become one of those souls that follow other people's path, that use external validation to determine what is good or what is success, what's failure, whatever it is, and lost ourselves because I've been there, done that. And
Sure.
because I come across many people, including myself at the time, if we were in that state from fear and desire, no matter how much we achieve, we won't feel fulfilled. If we're not fulfilled, the influence we give out is not true influence. Let me put it this way. For me, the definition of influence is not how many followers, how many people
Mhm.
listen or follow it. It's about whether we're really truly passing the truth and love out to this world
Yes.
that can really affect other people's life. Be happy, be true self. For me, that's the true influence because, and the only thing we can do that is that we become that answer, become the example first. We become the light for the souls on the way back home. Then that's a true influence from love. So I think that's my
Yes.
final words for everyone who will come across this episode. And thank you so much for creating this space for the people who want to
Joanna,
create that.
thank you. That was extremely powerful. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, Joanna, it's been a pleasure talking to you today. I can't wait to reconnect with you in the near future. And I wish you the best of luck in your business. And hopefully in 2026, you will win the next award. So keep up the great work. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.
Thank you too.
Before I go, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for pressing play. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching on YouTube. I truly appreciate you taking the time to be here with me. And if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And if you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or any other platform, follow the podcast so you don't miss out on the next episode. Because we're going to keep having real honest conversations like this. And remember, your influence grows every time you choose courage over comfort. I'm JV. Stay curious, stay consistent, and keep influencing others. Thank you.